Okay, we're going to record on the computer, I'm guessing. Okay, so when Jody and I were talking, we were like, I think a really great topic would be time management and creating routine and controlling your schedule and owning your day. And ironically, I'm taking this topic, but no one needs to hear this more than myself. So don't ever think that I'm talking to you. When I'm saying things, 99% of the time, it's something I need to hear myself. I'm just saying it out loud. So here's things that I've learned throughout the almost 3 years now that I've been a coach that hopefully you can take after this call and apply it to not only your business, but your life and just little tidbits. Let me turn Facebook off because these notifications, which we'll talk about, it's going to drive me nuts. So, okay. A quote that I love is no bees, no honey, no work, no money. Okay. So basically, if you don't have bees and they're not working, or there's no honey and there's no work, there's no money, right? So, but a lot of times, the bees have to be doing what they need to be doing. So are you doing revenue generating activities? Are you just doing business related activities? And they're still very different. So successful people are not gifted. They work hard and they succeed on purpose. So don't confuse activity with productivity. Many are busy just being busy. And so when we kick off this whole thing about time management, I just wanted to give you those few little tidbits to think about. Most of the time, especially for myself, when I'm busy and I'm working hard, 80% of the time, it's not on what I need to be working on, right? So I'm busy. We're all busy. We all have stuff to do, but we all have the same 24 hours in the day. And the people that are successful, particularly in this business, don't have some magic pill handed to them. They didn't have this amazing upline that handed them all the answers. They just worked really hard and they worked really smart and they worked on things that built their business and not on things that didn't. And so the very first thing that you need to do to control your day and to control your routine is to set a very clear expectation to what your vision and goals are. And we've talked about that a million times. So you should know what your vision and goals are for your business. Now it's your business. It's not mine and it's not anybody else's. So again, we went back to the 12-week year. What in 12 weeks do you want to accomplish? And we set a personal, a business, and a health goal. Okay, so if you weren't a part of that, I recommend going back and doing that, because when you go throughout the day, if you don't know what you're aiming for, you're going to hit it every single time. You don't know what you're aiming for. So you have to know what you're doing every day. And you won't know that until you have clear expectations of what it is that you're shooting for in the first place. So I got to thinking about this call, and really weight loss and my journey in health has taught me so much in life, and I relate so much back to it. So when I start thinking about time management, I go back to like my health journey. And so we know we need to meal plan, right? You got to meal plan, you got to prep, you got to have a plan every day before you head out the door. You should know what you're eating. You need to be tracking what you're eating. You have to readjust as needed. You kind of look back. Did you cover all your macros or your containers, however you're counting? And is mindless eating deterring your results, right? So when I start talking about like how to own your day, we're going to kind of refer it back to our health journeys. So meal plan, the same way that on Sundays when we sit down and we come up with a meal plan and a grocery list, should be the same way you're coming up with your action plan for the week. So do you have a business plan for the week ahead? Do you know what you're going to be doing that week? Something, and I didn't bring it up here, most of you I've talked about, I think on a different call, it's called The Miracle Morning. And I absolutely love this book. This one's for network marketers, but they have a whole bunch of different series. You can just do it for the regular one too. It's great. But they also have a workbook that cuts out like time slots. And so, but you can do it on any calendar or organizer. And so when I start my week on Sunday, I start time blocking. Like, this is when I'm going to be doing my miracle morning. This is when I'm going to be doing my workout. This is when I'm working on my chamber stuff, and I'm putting like actual, like, this is my power hour. This is when I'm working on this project. This is when I'm working on this project. This is my jet time and my family time. This, you know, and your calls and your agenda. And don't go more out than a week at a time, because then you overwhelm yourself. But you just need to set a plan for the week, right? You can't meal prep a whole month at a time. Just set aside a certain day, your week, and get that out of the way. So that when you go to bed every night, you're going to reassess how your day went, and then you're going to make a plan for the next day. And so what I see so many times when we go to our weight loss journey is that we all know if we didn't prep on Sundays, we're floundering throughout the week, right? You're like trying to throw some stuff together before you run out the door. You're grabbing stuff as you go. And that's what happens to our schedules too, is that if we don't know where we're supposed to spend our time throughout the day, we're just grabbing and going and making the most of the day, doing what comes our way. We're getting distracted. We don't know what our goal was. We don't know what our vision was because we didn't plan it out ahead of time. And before we know it, it's 8, 9 o'clock. We're exhausted and we've gotten nothing done that day that we need to get done. So you have to have a plan. So I would say somebody tell me about your plan, but we're all immune, so we'll save that to the end. And so you have to have a method of tracking that. And I know for me personally, I still struggle with how I'm tracking it. Sometimes I try electronic, I try on paper. And so I'm just doing a combination of both right now. I really love A-Note. If you've not heard of that app, it's kind of like task reminders, calendars. It will merge your calendar, like your Google Calendar, my work calendar. It merges all my calendars together. I can set up like a list of like, okay, here's things in the future I want to get done for me personally, for my house, for my business, for whatever, and then you can start breaking it down. So I love A-Note, but there's a ton of tracking organizers out there, or you can use pen and paper. What I find with pen and paper is I lose them, or if I want to flip back to prior years, I don't know where it's at. So we are in an electronic age, and sometimes it's hard to make that conversion. And so when it comes to so let's say you have a plan, right? You have a plan, you know pretty much what you're going to do. You're going to have to allow yourself some buffers. So do you know when you're doing your power hour every day? Most of the people on this call, I'm probably going to say we don't. We just try to squeeze it in somewhere. But if we look back at our workouts, if we did the same thing with our workouts, if we woke up, we went to bed and we're like, I don't know when I'm going to do my workout tomorrow. I'm just going to try to fit it in somewhere. We all know you're most likely not going to do your workout. It's just not going to happen because the day is going to get ahead of you. And so it's like that with anything in your day. You have to know when you're getting it done to be the most productive. So is your power hour, maybe it doesn't need to be an hour at a time. Maybe it's 15, 20-minute blocks at a time, you know, before you leave the house in the morning. Maybe it's during a lunch break or when you get off work. But you have to know what your day looks like in order to plan that out, because if not, your day is going to get ahead of you. So, and then when it comes to like mindless eating, that's what I call time sucks. So sometimes we think we're doing really good and we have our containers and we're eating on schedule and we're doing a great job, and then we're not seeing any results, right? It's because we're picking little things throughout the day and putting them in our mouths, and we're not tracking those. That doesn't count, but it does. And it's not leading you to the results you want. And that's the same thing that happens with time sucks. So maybe you're being productive and you're getting these little things done, but you're not counting all those little time suck periods that you're getting lost in Facebook or news articles and the news, oh God, politics, or, you know, TV or whatever. And not to say that you shouldn't do those things. You should have that when you're doing those things, right? So it's not cutting in to your productivity time. That's on your personal time, and you should have time for that. But that you need to be tracking that. It needs to be on your schedule. Because I know for me personally, what happens is I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to Facebook real quick, check my notifications, and then I have lost myself for 20 minutes and I have no idea what I just got accomplished. So, and it takes willpower to just shut that off. Yeah, shut it off. So with shutting it off, I mean turn off your notifications. So when you're in productivity mode, I do not get notifications for emails. I do not get notifications for Facebook Messenger. I do not get notifications for Facebook. I just don't, I cannot operate that way with 2 full-time jobs and jet and a life. I can't. So they're not going anywhere, and I promise the world is not going to burn down if you don't get every single notification. So keep the notifications on for what you do. At least have your phone on silent. Or when you're in a power hour mode, turn on the airplane mode so that you are focused on what you're doing in that time block period. Set an alarm and a reminder. So if that kind of freaks you out a little bit, have a reminder that says, you know, go check social media or go check your time sucks. I have that on my calendar. Like, it's time to go check Facebook or your emails. Just to remind me, like, I need to go do that. I do that about twice a day. I don't even answer my phone. I check the voicemail and I call people back on those times, because if you respond to every single thing, you're going to spend your entire day responding to everybody else's emergencies instead of building your business or building your life or spending time with your family. So I think that's super important. You need to categorize your task. And so that goes without saying, you need to do the first things first. If you've not read Eat That Frog, I highly recommend that book. I've read it like 3 times. I've highlighted it, and it's sitting in my office right now because I go back to it all the time. I think it's an easy read, and it's a great, probably the best time management book I've ever read. But you've got to do the first things first. So for me, working out was something I always used to skip. So I did that first thing in the morning. And now it's become part of my life, because I know if I do it first thing in the morning, I'm good, I'm set for the day. If I wait till afternoon, I'm going to skip it. For me, inviting or my power hour, if I don't do it first thing in the morning, there's a good chance I'm going to miss it throughout the day. So you've got to find a point in your routine that you're doing these things. And and for me, I'm not a routine person, so it's very difficult for me to do things consistently. So only you know what your schedule looks like. But when you do that Sunday planning, things come up, but you kind of know, you've taken a hold of your schedule. You know what your schedule looks like. And so then when someone asks you, hey, can we go to lunch on Wednesday? You're going to have to say, no, I'm sorry, I don't have time this Wednesday, but how about next week? And you schedule them in there, because people will take up your time, not because they're trying to get in your way, but because they don't have the same goals you do, and that's okay. But you have to learn to say no and take control of your schedule and not let everybody else control it for you. And saying no is hard, hard, especially when you've got tilapia and asparagus. They're like, let's go eat a cheeseburger. So anyway, say no. Plan your next day before you go to bed. Like for me, I don't do a whole lot of meal prepping on Sunday. Every night before I go to bed, I make sure I got a meal plan for the next day. That's just what works for me. And I kind of know what my schedule looks like, but before I go to bed every day, I'm planning my next day. What meetings do I have? When am I doing my power hour? Do I've got baseball or whatever? I know what my day looks like. So plan your next day before you go to bed. Again, use a calendar or an organizer or whatever works for you. And delegate. And and this is something that's really difficult for me. I just hired on some help to help me. And I'm not saying that you need to do that yet unless it's feasible for you. But does it make more sense for you to hire a house cleaner and pay them $50, $75, $100 to clean your house for 3-4 hours? Or does it make more sense for you to do that and not be working on your business? That's completely up to you, and you have to decide how to do those things. But for me, those are things that I would rather outsource, and I would rather get somebody to do what I love and get them in a challenge group and get them to buy a challenge pack in those hours versus cleaning. So you have to find ways that you can go about. It looks like Carl Deichler might be calling me. I don't know. That's maybe from California. Anybody else get the call? Yeah, it's Carl. So you have to delegate. And that's something that Brittany Leggett she's preached for a while, and it's not been financially feasible for me, but we're at a point where we're growing that I have to get help in order to get you guys the help that you need and you deserve. And so you have to find those little spots. PicMonkey is not your thing, and you really want to recognize them in a pretty graphic, there's a website called Fiverr. Fiverr, I think, Fiverr.com, and they do all kinds of stuff for $5. Okay, so why spend, like our United Spark logo? I think I spent $35 on that, but why am I going to spend a whole day trying to crank out a logo when you can pay somebody just to do it for you and get it done? So you have to do things that make sense for you. And you also need to cut off when you need to. But if you're breaking down your time blocks, I know a lot of times we talk about family hours and protected hours and just when to shut it off. It's so important that you do that. And I'm making a conscious effort, because those of you that were with us when we did our coaching protected hours, really just not doing work during Jet's time. And he only gets about 2 hours of my time every day, but that's his protected time. And I'm not going to be doing business during that. So you have to find what works for you, but you have to do it for your sanity and for your family's sake, because your husbands are going to start not liking it. You're always working during their time, but you also have to have conversations with them about what you're trying to do. And if you have a clear vision and a clear goal, they should be on board with you, knowing that, all right, this is our time, but after this, I need to work on that. Will you help me and support me on that? And they should be more than willing, unless you have a not so supportive boyfriend, and then you probably will break up, and then you find one that is. Anyway, those of you that know my story know. Anyway, so leave a buffer. So if you think something's going to take 2 hours, you may want to leave your buffer in there of 30 minutes or so, because somebody might walk in your door, or somebody wants to talk to you at work, or whatever that may be. You need to protect your time, but you also need to be realistic and save yourself that buffer when needed. Take breaks, unwind, refresh. We all know that when you're giving yourself, you start getting burnout. Don't be afraid to unplug and just get you back. And whatever that is, like, you need that. But if you work hard, that should be a deserved break. I know for me personally, I give myself too many breaks sometimes. I'm like, well, I've worked hard today. I can't do it. And when you could push through it and then have an even more deserved break at the end of the time or the end of the week. Cut it up in small chunks. Again, maybe the whole week is really overwhelming for you, so maybe just take 2 or 3 days at a time, like you do meal prepping, and just don't try to tackle everything at once. For me, owning my day and organizing is all about clearing my desk space and just really getting rid of the crap that's getting in the way. So I know, especially your workspace, if stuff is not allowing you to concentrate, get rid of it. Throw it away. You don't need it. Like meal prepping and planning, if you're trying to eat healthy and get on task, you're not going to have cookies and ice cream sitting in your refrigerator or pantry. Throw it out. It's doing you no good. And then get with group tasks. So many times we're busy doing things that we all are doing just differently, that we can share resources. There's no reason for us to spin our wheels doing things that we could do together as a group and be 20,000 times more productive. Jet, never missing a team call. And find the dedicated time and place that you're doing all this. So where are you doing your power hour? And if you have that scheduled out, you should know when that's happening. You should know how it's happening. And it's best to do that at the same time. So every night, at a certain time, you're doing your to-do list for the next day. So baby, please go. Jojo, he's wanting you to say hi. Okay. And so that's all I had for today. But if you don't control your time, we all know your time will control you, and we're all guilty of it. And this business can be overwhelming. I know that, but you have to just take it day by day and 1 hour. If you can just dedicate 1 hour a day to doing the very bare minimums which are the vital behaviors. And so many times people say, oh, I can't, I won't, no one's responding. Well, first of all, you've got a negative mind and nothing good's going to come if you've already dismissed that you're not going to be good at it. But second of all, are you doing the basics? And that's what I always ask my coaches that are struggling. And 99% of the time, they're not. So you can't say it doesn't work if you're not trying. And so if you're not inviting, if you're not being proof by sharing, no one knows what workouts you're doing, or if you're even part, or if you're even a coach, if you don't share it. So you have to share it, invite them to join you, recognize people. You've got challengers, you've got coaches, you've got friends, like recognize those people and do your personal development, because that's really where the whole mindset thing is going to come in. And if you can do that and learn how to schedule your day every day, you're going to be crazy successful. But you gotta do the work, not the busy work, not the cute graphics and scrolling Facebook. that doesn't get you where you need to. So I'm going to take everybody off mute. And do y'all have any questions or things that you kind of get hung up in that you want to brainstorm about, like maybe something I didn't cover or something where your schedule doesn't allow you to be as productive? Please share.
Jessica, so you made me think of this because I struggle with this, and I was talking to Jody about it earlier, like getting stuck and scrolling through Facebook, like that's a common struggle, right? I was watching one of Alyssa Shoemaker's videos not too long ago, and she really was stressing about making your lists, like your prospects list, your your challenger list, so that you can go and just filter and just see, like, if you want to see those people that you're working on building relationships with, then add them to your prospects list and just focus on those people. So that's like a big help for me, is making those lists and sticking to that.
Absolutely. And that's a great point. I'm really glad you brought that up. And if you guys don't know that, you can make a list in Facebook. So you're not seeing everybody. You're just going to click on that, and those people in that list are going to come up. So you can have one for your coaches, one for your customers, one for your prospects, one for whatever. So yeah, no, that's a great way to quit the mindless scrolling. I love that. Anybody else have anything? Great point. Everybody is planning their day, right? No? I mean, what's your hang up? So time management. Y'all want to talk? I mean, is it just not doing it, or just getting overwhelmed, or just not knowing where to start, like me, and not being able to be perfect so you don't start at all? I mean, what is it?
My problem is that, number one, I haven't found a tracker that I like. Actually talking about all that, like weekly plan and whatever. Like, I have Brittany's that's like monthly plan, weekly plan, daily plan, and then your power hour. But I just don't know what these people are talking about when they say it's 1 hour. Because it's not for me. So I struggle because, yeah, I can do all those things in the 1 hour, but when do they talk to these people? Or when do they connect to these people on Facebook? Like, where's all this happening? Where's this time coming from? I don't think that I can possibly create more time in my day.
Yeah, I think the hour a day is the bare minimum of Success Club 5 every month. And I think for a business builder, that's definitely not realistic. Someone that's just a hobby coach, you could definitely hit Success Club 5 by just doing that, because you're only inviting a few people a day. But, Jody, in your case, definitely an hour is not reasonable. I would say it's probably a minimum of 2 up to 3 of solid work hours. At least that's, by the time you're having that many conversations.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess my struggle is like, most of your business is in Facebook. Mm-hmm. I definitely waste too much time. That's definitely my problem. But like, our business is in Facebook. So I don't know how you how do you not check your notifications when it's all in there? I don't know.
Right.
I get sucked into those little red dots.
I know, it's just I just wish they wouldn't even notify me. No, it is a time suck. And I know Brittany Leggett, that's why she is very strongly encourages moving to email. Unfortunately, I hate email. I don't check my email. I would never have a conversation with someone in email.
Yeah, 24th.
But she thinks it's very smart for you to move away from Facebook, because therefore you're giving Facebook control of your entire business. If Facebook went away, like what would happen to your business? So I think it's a smart move to have something else there, and where you're not getting distracted, maybe moving it over to text. Or guys, I'm telling you, when I was most successful in this business, I was having phone conversations. So it was not even in Facebook Messenger. It was like, hey, what time can we talk? And like, I was kind of not successful at points like that. Now I've gotten away from it because I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, no, Facebook Messenger definitely can be just maybe opening Messenger and not Facebook. Other than when you're just in Facebook to do like your connecting.
Right. Yeah.
Some ideas anyway. Anybody else? Well, guys, it's obviously like we're all, have different things going on in our life, and schedules are not easy. And but you can go back to when you were not a coach, and you can probably remember you were just as crazy busy, right? If you don't have this keeping you busy, you're going to find something to fill up your day. I don't ever remember a time where I was just sitting around waiting on something to happen since I became an adult. So you're busy. And I know I'd much rather be inundated with things that are growing me as a person and growing my income and growing my friendships and community than busy doing things that don't. So while we all are busy, I think there's definitely ways that we can take control of our schedules. But you have to just decide that it's something you want to do, and you have to have a plan to attack the day. So my call to action to you is that plan your day tomorrow. Know exactly what you're doing tomorrow in those time slots. Just try it, right? Just try it for a day or two. Saturday and Sundays, I don't usually plan those, but try it for tomorrow. Plan your power hour tomorrow, when you're going to be working your business, when you're going to be working your other jobs, and when you're going to have you time. So just try it, see how it works for you, and then we're going to have a little fun. I'm going to give you a little prize for whoever can show me how they plan their day out tomorrow. So I'm going to let you all go. We're 3 minutes over. But get back to your families. Plan your day tomorrow. Have a really productive day. We've got a few more days left in the month. Hit Success Club, guys. It's not for me or for your coach. It's for you and your business and your families and growing this business. And it's a beautiful thing. So hit Success Club. Plan your day. Let me know if you have any questions. And I will see you all here next week, next Thursday.
Bye, love.
Bye, guys.